Hi guys, we are the Wonderlust Storytellers and we've got
Jolene
and Andre, and today we're going to talk to you about traveling with a baby or a toddler in South Africa.
Cool guys, so we are family travel bloggers and we're here with our 3 kids and we're doing a massive road trip pretty much around most of South Africa. We've got 4 weeks here, which is incredible. We're having a ball. So we just wanted to share what we've learned along the way so that we can help parents who are thinking about coming this way.
Yeah.
Cool, so we've got pros and cons for you guys and we're gonna run through those and hopefully that will help you figure out if this is the place for you or not. So pro number 1 is baby supplies. Baby supplies are really easy to find. You can find them in the normal grocery stores. There is a massive selection of all of the baby things that you could possibly want. So your nappies, your baby puree foods, your squeezy pouches, wipes, formula, whatever you want, you've got it there. You've got lots of choices and they're all really good quality products. And you know, there's nothing funny there. So there's lots of fruit stuff for the babies and lots of veggie purees and stuff like that. The only thing that I found was slightly harder to find was swim nappies. So we're spending quite a bit of time along the coast. It is December currently, so it's quite warm and we do swim a little bit. You can find swim nappies, but if you can't find them in the bigger grocery stores, go and have a look at a shop called Clicks and you will find them in there. I do recommend you bring a reusable nappy just for in case you can't find them so that you do have an option of what you can use.
The next pro, we've got the strolling around with a stroller. Okay, so everywhere you go in the towns, in the cities, is pretty much flat. I didn't see any stairs or any climbing anywhere. Now, if you do go hiking in Kruger or Drakensberg or any other hikes, please bring a proper hiking, a baby carrier or toddler carrier, because like normal pouches might be a little bit too bouncy and get a bit too hot for the little one. Personally, we didn't have one on this trip. We did a couple of short hikes and I was carrying AV on my shoulders. Yeah, we didn't go far, let's put it that way. So proper baby carrier.
So a hiking carrier, guys, like go with the actual professional stuff. The hikes are beautiful, but they are quite hard work. So you really need something that you can handle for a long way. So pro number 3 is breastfeeding. Now breastfeeding here is perfectly normal, perfectly accepted in all public places. We've even seen signs in restaurants saying that breastfeeding is welcome and that you're welcome to do that. So you're sweet in that area.
Yeah. Now, if you're worried about water, because you go into different countries, sometimes you feel like maybe water is unsafe to drink from the taps. You can drink water from the taps in South Africa. Everywhere we've been to is no dramas whatsoever. But obviously boil the water if you want to clean up the bottles and things like that for the baby. Yeah?
We do use filtered water, but we use filtered water by choice, not because we have to. So that's what we do. But the water here is perfectly fine out of the taps to brush your teeth or to use as you want. So tip number 5 is babies are free. That's typically the way it is all over the world, but I thought I would mention it anyways. So if you go into attractions, you go into safaris, all of those sorts of things, you're not going to pay for your little one.
Yeah. When you're driving around in the car, okay, you're gonna need a baby car seat, okay? If you do bring your own one, be aware that the systems of locking the car might be different here. So if you hire one here with the car, have a look at all the clipping into the car seats. There's three anchors. There's 2 down the bottom clicking in the middle of the seat, and there's an anchor in the back as well. So just be aware that might be a different system to your car seat from home. Yeah, so you might have to just hire one.
And while we're talking about cars, guys, it is really a country where hiring a car is going to be the easiest way to go. It is not a country where there are taxis driving around that you can flag down to take you to your special location. There is Uber, of course, but I personally highly recommend that you get your own car so that you can get around really easy. So the last pro, guys, is about the people here. South Africans are really friendly people. They are very family focused. So you are going to be really comfortable with your little one. No one's going to look at you if your baby's crying in the restaurant or if your toddler's having a tantrum. or anything like that. So noise in restaurant is perfectly fine. If you've got a little one that's a toddler and likes to be busy, a lot of the restaurants have got play areas. They've got kid-friendly menus. Everything is here. So from that perspective, super, super easy. And yeah, just really comfortable to let your kids be kids.
Exactly.
Cool. So negatives, hey?
So negatives, eh? Let's have a look at those ones. So South Africa is a huge country, okay? So if you choose to drive around it, be prepared for long, long distances, yeah? And most of the time when we're driving through, you know, from big towns to small towns and stuff, there's not much in between. So if you want to make it easier for yourself, you can go to Cape Town, for example, and there you have millions of attractions. What we got there?
So guys, if your little one doesn't handle car rides very well, base yourself in Cape Town because you've got everything within day trips from there. You can go and do the Table Mountain, of course. You've got botanical gardens there with views over the mountain, which is just beautiful. You've got vineyards to visit. You've got beaches to go and enjoy. You've got Boulders Beach that have got the little penguins. You can do boat rides out to see seals. There is honestly like such a huge variety of things that you can do in Cape Town itself. That's probably why it is such an incredibly popular city to visit. But yeah, that's what I recommend if you're not at a point where you can really travel around as much as we are. So yeah, number 2 is Malaria. Now, Kruger National Park is amazing. But there is also malaria in that area, which if you have a baby or a young toddler will probably mean that you won't be able to go that way. So our little one that's been a bit gross is 3 years old, and we've actually got to crush down a malaria tablet to give to her. And to be honest, it's quite tricky. So do check out that. The rest of the country is fine. There are safari parks all over, so you might just not get to go and visit that one very, very famous one, but you can certainly go on safaris elsewhere.
And number 3, negative, obviously make sure to check out all the vaccines before you leave your country, because you might have to top up some vaccinations that your baby or toddler might need, as well for yourself, obviously. But just check with your doctor, make sure you've got everything before you come.
Yeah, our little one didn't need any vaccines, but mostly because she can't get the ones that they were giving to the older kids. So our other 2 kids, we've got a 10-year-old and a 14-year-old, and they did have to get a few vaccines. Okay, so number 4 is back to safari, because that's probably one of the reasons you're coming this way. Safari is amazing, but you do have to be aware that a lot of the companies won't take you if you have a baby or a toddler or kids under, I think, 3 or 4 years old. So you really have to email the people. You have to ask the question, otherwise you're going to be disappointed. There are some places that do take little ones, but my best recommendation is just to do a self-drive safari, because that way if your baby has had enough, you can just leave and it's fairly easy. So yeah.
Number 5, negative. I mean, you know, South Africa has the obviously safety issue, right? So not a lot of towns or cities might be as safe to stay in. So make sure to do all the research before you come, and just check where is safe, which areas of the cities are safer than the others, and just, you know, common sense, right?
So guys, South Africa really is about the nature, natural beauty here.
Exactly.
Beautiful, visiting the mountains, visiting all of the beaches. Like that's what you're here for. So we're actually basing ourselves close to those things rather than being in the towns, because we don't particularly want to stay in the town. The towns are a bit dirty. And it's really nice just being closer to the locations. Now, obviously Cape Town is perfectly fine. You'll find massive international culture there anyways. But if you do choose to venture to other places, that's something to think about. So let's talk about the safety, because if you're not thinking about the safety, I don't know. Everybody thinks about safety when they say South Africa. So we wanted to talk about safety. I don't think we've really had any instances where we have felt unsafe. But I used to live in South Africa back in the day, 20 years ago. before I immigrated to Australia. So I was fairly aware of what sort of safety rules or what we can do to keep ourselves safe in a country that isn't particularly the safest country in the world. So here are some tips for you to keep you safe when you come and visit. So tip number 1 is to make sure that you always have your doors locked. It's something I learned ages ago when I lived here. So always make sure all the doors are locked when you're driving around.
Yeah.
Tip number 2.
Well, follow your gut instinct, you know, so everywhere where you go, obviously before you come to Australia, you will get to know some tips and tricks and stuff like that from videos and research and stuff, but it's common sense, you know. If you don't feel safe in one spot, don't go there, you know.
Just pass by. We've done that when we thought we would stop for lunch in a town, driving from point A to point B. We didn't particularly like the town. We didn't feel like we wanted to stop there, so we just kept going.
Yeah. Next one.
So don't drive at night.
That is a big one. Yeah.
Stick to driving around in the day. I'm not talking about going out for dinner and going back to your hotel. That's fine. But we're talking about doing the massive road trips from point A to point B. You don't particularly want to be on the road at night.
Yeah. Plus, you know, when you're driving from A to B, there's pretty much darkness everywhere. So
there's lots of potholes in the roads. Exactly. So that's another reason why you don't want to be driving at night.
Exactly right. Safer in hotels than Airbnbs. I mean, we travel all over the world. Airbnbs are fantastic because you can get that more of a cultural experience. But if you're thinking about safety, hotels are really good. They've got secured parking, secured lobbies, secured everything. And you've got hotels facilities, obviously, that are top notch as well.
We are staying in some Airbnbs, so we're not saying don't think about it. But we really did have a look at the reviews and really investigated the area and all of that when we were booking the Airbnbs. We've mostly stuck to hotels because we just thought that with our kids, that's where we're going to feel safest.
Safety first, yeah.
So yeah, that's something for you to think about. Guys, we do not want you to delete this country because it has a reputation around safety. You can be safe if you follow a few simple rules. You are a bit more aware than what you might be in your own country. Have that awareness switched on, follow your gut instinct, but it is an incredible country to come and visit. Safaris, our kids have loved the safaris, the mountains, all of those sorts of things, the beaches. It's really, really awesome. So,
I mean, this is my first time here, and to be perfectly honest, I am stunned. The natural beauty of this country is just ridiculously awesome.
So yeah, guys, I hope that has helped you with a little bit of information about some pros and cons so that you can decide whether this is the country that you want to visit or not. I say go for it, but
no dramas.
But also it is important to follow your own gut instinct, because if you're going to come and you're just going to be stressed up because of safety concerns, that doesn't particularly make a fun trip either. So follow your own gut and you'll be sweet.
Have a great time.
Cool,
Thanks
guys.
for watching, guys.
Awesome. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.